Glasses are very smudgy. Oh, there we go. Hi everybody, welcome to this evening's session of yoga. So this will be the second last session of the current block. I hope you all enjoy it this evening, and what we do ask is if you could donate £3 towards the class, that would be fantastic. If you go on our GoFundMe page, help us to help others, it would be much appreciated. Just to remind you as well that this session is recorded. I'll just pass you over to Annie.
Hi everybody, I hope you're all doing well. And we're going to get cracking straight away so that we've got more time for yoga. So I will read our little disclaimer and then I'll talk a bit about what we're doing tonight in class, okay? So when practicing yoga online, it is up to the individual to assess whether they are ready for the class they have chosen, in this case, fertility yoga. Obviously, if you suffer from specific injuries or disease, it is best to consult with your doctor first. The practice of yoga asanas or postures requires you, the practitioner, to gauge the safety of your practice within your own personal limitations. It's better to build up slowly than to force and strain. Whilst one may feel exertion, one should also feel relaxed. The techniques and suggestions presented in this webinar are not intended to substitute for proper medical advice. You should always consult your doctor before beginning any new exercise program. Both Fertility Network and me, Annie Perry, assume no responsibility for injuries suffered while practicing these techniques. Okay, so I'm just changing microphone here because so that I'm on my roving one. Okay. So hopefully that's switched fine. Can someone just pop a message to say they can still hear me? Is that okay? Can you hear me okay? Perfect. Good stuff. Okay, I'm on a different computer tonight. I usually use a better one, but it's I can't use it tonight. So that means I can't share music either. So if you want to have your own little background music, just fire away. So like you can just go onto Spotify and Google or search for yoga music or relaxation music to have on in the background. So I'm really sorry, but that is Chromebooks. They don't have this facility and I'm usually on a laptop. So I'm sorry about that. Cool. So I'll move over to my mat and I just want to get cracking as quickly as possible tonight because we've got a lot to get through. Sorry, I'm just wiping my screen there. Right. So I am going to start off with a really beautiful little meditation for you guys, okay? I'm really trying tonight to get you really connected to your body, okay? Get you really connected to your body. And because I know personally when you're going through fertility struggles, there's a real disconnect with your body. You fall out with it and a lot of times. So we're trying to just instill a little bit of love back, okay? And we're going to do that by a lovely little blessing, like a body blessing. So I really want you to visualize yourself, and we've been talking about this over the past few weeks, as precious cargo, okay? You are precious, precious cargo. You have to you have to set firm boundaries with who you associate with when you're going through a struggle. Someone's made a comment. Sorry, hang on. Yeah, you're fine post-transfer. Sorry, Lucy, I should have said you're fine post-transfer because you've left at 48 hours. If anyone is 48 hours post-retrieval, within 48 hours post-retrieval or transfer, just leave out the physical yoga tonight. I know it's, if you want to do it, it's a bit tough, but the kind of guidelines are no physical exercise for 48 hours. Thereafter, we're good to go. Okay, so Yes. I was talking about boundaries. You have to set boundaries with who you associate to protect yourself with what you're going through, particularly at this time of year. So I'm really conscious of that, and I want to build that into your practice. So a lot of self-love tonight, a lot of practicing the yoga limb of ahimsa, which is non-violence, which basically means don't be violent to other people, but also to yourself. Okay, so we're practicing self-love, self-care. We're going to really try to create more of a connection with your body, and in particular your womb space. So in yoga we refer to that as the Sacral Chakra. That's where we've got energy centers through the body, and we focus a lot on the Sacral Chakra in these fertility yoga classes. Okay, so we'll do this body blessing to start, a really nice opening meditation. Then our practice is very centered around the Sacral Chakra. So as such, we have another finishing meditation focused around that. Okay, so let me have a little sip of water before we start. So I usually tell you like how to sit or do your opening meditation, but really I'm leaving it up to you. Okay, I'm sitting in a hero pose just now with my heels just tucked underneath my bum. You could do that. You could move into Sacral position like this, or you could come down onto your back maybe into constructive rest. Giving you a few little options because I want you to really get this connection going with your body, and that means asking yourself how you're feeling, asking yourself what your energy levels are, and really tuning in to what you need tonight. Okay, so choose whatever you like. Okay, and I am going to ask you to close your eyes. Okay, so I've taken this body blessing from a book I love called Wild Feminine. It's not a fertility book. It is a book by a woman called Tammy Lynn Kent, who the subtitle of the book is Finding Power, Spirit and Joy in the Female Body. And she has this body blessing in it. And it's really to do with clearing negative associations or imprints from your body. Okay. So I've been doing it with my own clients this week and all my class types, and I want to do it with you guys too, because I think it's really, really powerful. Okay, so close your eyes over and begin to feel into the body. Begin to notice what the breath is doing in the body for you tonight. Take your awareness to sounds that are far, far away from you. Even sounds that are going on outside your house or wherever you're doing your yoga. Then bring your awareness slightly closer. Bring your awareness to sounds that are outside the room you're in, but inside the building you're in. Bring your awareness to sounds inside the room. Then bring your awareness to sounds within your body. So the sound of the breath as it flows in and out. Awareness to feelings within your body. Feelings of tension. Feelings of ease. Emotional feelings. Observe them with no judgment. Sensations in the body. And if the breath is not already soft and slow, then gently ask your body to soften and elongate the breath. And I'm going to begin the body blessing. So when I mention a part of the body, I want you to, a bit like when we do our yoga nidra at the end, I want you to focus your energies and your awareness to that part of the body. Okay? Bless my feet and legs. Let them walk with the grounding energy of the earth. Bless my pelvis, that I may hold my values as a woman. Make space for my creations and release what no longer belongs with me. Bless my feminine organs, that I use my creative potential in ways that are beneficial and sustainable for my spirit. Bless my belly. May I be in a place of feminine power. Bless my hands and arms. May they cultivate and receive a joyful bounty. Bless my heart and chest, that I receive and give fully the love I share with others. Bless my breasts, that I nourish myself as lovingly as I nourish my creations. Bless my throat and head. May I speak my truth and clarify my visions. Bless the paths behind and ahead of me, that they may transform what I carry into the future. Bless the place I now stand as a woman. May I be fully present in my body and life and celebrate the blessings of this moment. And as that initial little blessing comes to an end, I want you to open your eyes with a nice soft gaze, and we'll get ready to move through our practice. Okay, so I really like that little blessing, and I hope you do too, because I think it starts to remind you that you are sacred. Okay, and I want you to treat yourself as such when you move through your practice. Okay, just remembered I've not switched on these little lights that perhaps make it a bit easier to see me. So I want you to remember that, okay, as we move through the practice. And by that, I mean really, really sense what your body needs, okay? So I'm going to guide you through postures, but if something doesn't feel good for you, then we don't do it, okay? And we're treating our yoga practice as sacred as well, okay? So this is why it's more, yoga is so much more than the physical, okay? We're really tapping into your emotions, your body, your spirit, your soul. So we treat it as such, okay? So when we move through the practice, we're just reminding ourselves of that powerful blessing, okay, as we move through. That makes sense, okay? So the first position we're going to find is hero pose, okay? So that initial way I was sitting when I started the class. So bring the heels underneath the bum to start, okay? And it's nice because Virasana is a really good position to start tapping into the sacral chakra that I was talking about, okay? So it wraps round the womb and round to the sacrum bone at the back. Okay, this is the area we're focusing on. So when we do Virasana, it's quite a hip stabilizer and a pelvic stabilizer. Okay, so I'm sitting with my heels underneath my sit bones just now, right? You can go deeper, okay, and by that I mean you can begin to sort of widen your feet a little and then sit your bum in between your heels, and perhaps even making that connection with your sit bones onto the floor. Okay, now if that hurts the knees or the hips too much, so I've got a little ligament injury on my knee, so I'm not going to do that, because see, my body is sacred. I'm not pushing it to do things it can't do. Ordinarily I could sit there for ages, but not tonight. Okay, so if that's the same with you, if you could sit there with your sit bones connected with the floor for ages and your feet out to the side, like so you can see them, then by all means do that, but don't do it if it puts strain or pain onto the hips or the knees. Okay, this is just as fine. Okay, so from here, let's create a lovely length through the torso. So visualize a thread coming through the very top of the head and giving it a wee pull up, a wee yank up, and then you've realised you've been slumping all day. If you're anything like me, we're feeling this lovely length being created through the torso. Okay, and with that length we're going to add a twist. Okay, so when we do these twists, they're so good, but you can't do them slumped because you're not achieving as much. Okay, so feel that length through the spine. Give your navel, your belly button a gentle wee hug in. Nothing, we're not locking our core here. We're just pulling our navel in towards the spine. We're taking our right hand across the body, our left hand to the floor behind, lifting and lengthening and just gazing over the left shoulder. So I don't know about you guys, but see, with this colder weather, you really do need to watch with yoga, because you don't realize how tense you hold yourself if you're moving around in cold weather all day. So we're just going to go gently for these first few postures. So we've lengthened the spine and we're gazing behind, and we're just feeling that lovely openness in the chest and a gentle squeeze into the lower back. Coming round to the other side. Exactly the same thing. I want you to remember that if the mind goes its little wondery place, then we've got things to anchor us back. Okay, so we don't chastise ourselves for that. We just gently guide ourselves back to the sound of the breath, the sound of my voice, any little lines we remembered from that blessing that we did at the start. Okay, come back round to the front. Okay, so we're staying like this. And maybe at this point that you've went for that deeper hero pose, and then you're going, right, I've had enough now. Just bring your heels back in and under, okay, if that's the case. Link the hands together and lift them up towards the ceiling. Okay, so the palms are facing up. We're lifting up. Okay, and then we're retreating back down with the hands. Okay, we're still in hero. If it's getting too much for you, like I know a lot of people have got issues with knees and hips, just come into a cross-legged position, okay? And we're just doing one more posture from here anyway, okay? So this one is cow-faced arms with hero legs, okay? So it's a posture where we try and create a bind with our hands behind. So I'm doing it like this at the front, but we're doing that behind, and it's quite tight into the shoulders, so we don't overdo it, okay? But it can be, I just want to give you a bit of release of any tension. If you're going through a stressful time, we feel tension in the shoulders, so we're just trying to release them, okay? So let me just turn around to show you, okay? So we are lifting up with the right hand, reaching it up, feeling that lift through the spine. Then we're bending at the elbow and dropping it down the back. Then we're taking the left hand out in front. We're bringing it behind. And we are trying, if we can, I'm laughing because I feel so tense today. We're bringing our hands to meet, okay? So we've got one palm facing away, the top palm facing in, and we're trying to create a bind. Now, don't worry if you can't create a bind, okay? Please don't worry. Just have those hands going in that general direction. And then another couple of things to remember, okay, is I've got a habit of doing this, right? Sinking down with my head so that I create the bind, and then forgetting to lift the head back up, okay? I want nice lifted and lengthened spine and head. And then we'll release on that side, nice and gently, and we will roll the shoulders. Okay, and then we'll go to the other side. Left hand lifting, bending at the elbow and coming down, hinging and creating that little bind. And you might find that you could do it on one side and then on the other side it's just not happening. Very, very common. Just try and ease into it. Try and find that little point of discomfort where you think, I really want to leave the posture, but you can manage one more breath. And then release. Roll the shoulders. Okay, so let's rise up to high knees now, okay? I'll just turn to the side, okay? So if you were doing it sideways on your mat like I was, turn so you're using the length of your mat, okay? All right, so we're moving into, so you know we do downward dog quite a lot. We're essentially doing that with the arms and the top half of the body, but we'll just keep the knees down, okay? So we're going to just hinge forward and bring the hands quite far out in front, you know, like down dog, there's quite a length through the arms, okay? So the hands come out in front and then drop your head and your chest to gaze at your navel like we do in down dog. And then we want to press away from the hands and take the chest as if it's traveling back towards the thighs. And breathe deeply there for a few breaths. Then I want you to add a twist to it, just a gentle one, by walking the hands and taking the hands over to the right. Twisted downward facing hero pose. This is a bit of a mouthful. You're just adding a gentle length through one side of the body. And then we'll take a little walk and we'll go via the center line over to the other side. We'll come back into center. And I want you to tuck your toes under. So instead of having the tops of the feet flat, tuck them under and begin to walk yourself back, because you've guessed it, we pretty much do it every week, don't we? Stretching our soul, okay? So we want to come back. If you've not joined me before, I forgot to say welcome if you haven't joined me before, then this is a toughie for a lot of people due to that really intense stretch through the sole of the foot that we're not used to, okay? And we put weight into, so we sit on our heels, but if you need to rise up and it's too much for you, just rise up, okay? Bring your hands over your heart center. Focus on your breath. And then slowly begin to bring yourself forward. Untuck the toes, feel that blissful release, and just tap the tops of the feet onto the mat. Tap, 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 tap. Okay. Right. All fours position, so nice table, and you want nice flat back. Okay, so you start off in this neutral position, and then we are going to start to really work into the pelvis. Okay, so we've tried to release tension through the top of the body. We've tried to create length through the top of the body. Now I want to really start honing in on the sacral chakra and into the pelvis. Okay, so I want to start off with a posture excuse me, that we do most weeks, which is a cow to cat flow. Okay, so we start off with our cow, where we sink the navel towards the floor and at the same time tilt the pelvis so that the sit bones start to spread apart and also start to look towards the ceiling. And then we take the head and gaze forward, so there's a lovely length through the throat into the chest, and relax the shoulders as well. Then begin to slowly, on your exhale, tilt the pelvis in the complete other direction. Start to gaze towards the belly, dropping the chin towards the chest and lengthening through the spine. And go back to your inhale and your cow. Okay, visualize warmth and comfort coming into the back. Visualize the pelvis beginning to sort of lubricate and release, especially if you've been sitting in stagnant energy. You know, maybe you've done a drive, or maybe you've been sitting at a desk all day, or you've not really moved your pelvis much. All that energy begins to stagnate. If you've been feeling particularly stressed lately, any emotions associated with that, perhaps you've put down into your pelvis. So we're really going to try and release tonight. Okay, release and let go. All right, let's come back to neutral spine, and then start to work the pelvis using leg movements. Okay, so just little half tiger position. Okay, we're going to rise up with the right knee off the mat. Just take it directly up behind, flex the foot at the right foot, and lift that foot so it's flat, right? So the sole of the foot's flat, and you're trying to lift it as if you're trying to step on the ceiling, but keeping the foot flexed and flat. I realise I'm looking at myself and you can't even really see me because I'm wearing all black. Let me move that cardigan. I'm kind of blending in with the background. I should really have thought my wardrobe choice through, shouldn't I? Just trying to open the pelvis. Okay, drop down. Do the same on the other side, lifting the left knee up off the mat. And drop down. Okay, we're now going to rotate the pelvis using, or really, we're not rotating the pelvis, we're working into the ball and socket joint. Okay, so we've got your femur coming up into your pelvis. Where's your pelvis? I've got a model pelvis here. I'm obsessed with the female pelvis. Okay, so there's your pelvis as if it's like this. Okay, and that's where your femur goes in at the top. Is like a ball and socket joint. There's a load of fascia and muscles surrounding that it gets quite sticky and needs released. Okay, emotions as well. So this little posture is so lush for releasing it. Okay, so visualize that little joint that you've got, right, and visualize that it's all full of cobwebs that need a wee bit of a spring clean. Okay, that's what we're going to do with this posture. Okay, so It's just simple, okay? We've done it, I think we've done it the past few weeks, haven't we? But just in case you're just joining me for the first time. Okay, so from all fours, all we do is, instead of lifting the knee like we've just done straight up behind, lift it out to the side, okay? Just lift it out, flex your foot again, and then begin to make circles with the knee, okay? But really it's nothing to do with the knee, if you know what I mean, because this is isolating into that little ball and socket joint. Okay, we're just moving slowly, and we're starting off small, and then we gradually allow the circles to increase, okay? So our visualization is right into that joint. Have a little pause and go circles in the other direction. And then drop down with the knee and come down to child's pose. So widen out with the knees, sink down with your bum on your heels, and just rest your head towards the floor. Okay, rise up. Let's balance everything. Let's do that on the other side, okay? And really sense into what's happening. So you might even realise that you've got a really tight one side of your pelvis, you know, you didn't even really realise, or maybe both are quite equal, or maybe they're not, okay? Maybe this is a much freer side for you. And go the other way. Okay, and drop down with the knee and move into child's pose again. And then move back up to all fours, okay? So we're moving into a lizard lunge next as a way to really open up the pelvis again. We're trying to instigate lots of gentle, lovely blood flow by opening up through the pelvis, okay? So this is a deeper lunge, a lizard lunge, okay? So take your right leg and just take it right out behind, like just point the toe out behind. And then take the knee forward, so bend the knee and take the foot forward to the outside of the right foot, okay? So the hands still remain on the floor. The right foot's to the outside of the right hand. And this is where I want you to really pay really due care and attention to your body, okay? I don't want you to feel any pain. I don't want you to feel force or strain, like I said in the little disclaimer at the start, okay? This can be a really deep lunge, a really good lunge, but I don't want you to go into it slowly and gently, okay? So the first thing to do is we're just going to use the left knee at the back. Just take it back a little to increase the stretch, okay? So start going back with the knee till you feel you've gone back far enough, okay? And then the hands are just underneath the shoulders just now. You can just walk them forward a little. and the body's still quite high at the moment, but you could lower it down more to increase your stretch into the hip. Okay, you may even get your elbows onto the floor, but that's not a target. Okay, that's not a target I want you to achieve if you can achieve it. Okay, we're not about that in yoga. We're about living in the present and doing what our body can do now. Okay, breathe into the hips. It should feel uncomfy but not painful. Okay, and it shouldn't feel forced or strained. Okay, we're going to come up. We're going to rise up. Okay, we're going to take the back knee back underneath the hip, so that's directly underneath the hip. And we're going to rise up with the body. Okay, so we've come out of that lizard lunge, and before we do the other side, we're going to come into a little half splits pose. Don't worry, it sounds scarier than it is. I'm not getting you to do the splits. So the foot's quite wide just now. The right foot, I want you to bring it in more centrally, and I want you to straighten up through the leg. Okay, so the front leg's nice and straight, the back knee is directly under the hips. Okay, again, we can dial into this nice and slowly and gently. Okay, so the foot is lifted off the mat, so we're really perched on this heel at the front, so it might feel you're not balanced. I don't want you falling over. Okay, so just get your balance. So I wanted that foot in quite a central location, but if that makes you feel too tight and you're going to fall over, then just take it out a little bit. Okay, so we'll start off just clasping our hands and bringing the hands onto the thigh. Okay, and just hinge the body forward as you do that. So I want to really target the muscles down the back of the leg here. You may be able to get the hands to go onto the shins, slide them down. You've still got that support. Or you may be able to bring your hands to the floor on either side of the leg and really kind of press over and fold over, still keeping the front leg straight. We're not arching through the back too much. The back's lovely and straight, and the tension is not creeping into the shoulders. Okay, lifting up. That's enough on that one. That's very intense. So now, just sway the hips side to side. Now come on to all fours again, and we'll do lizard lunge to half splits on the left side of the pelvis. Okay. All right. So back to all fours. Lengthen the left leg away out behind, and then step it forward to the outside. I'm not going to go into all those little points. We've just done it. We know what we're doing. But a reminder to be gentle and respectful to yourself. Okay, coming up, lifting up, half split position, folding over. Okay, lift up. We're going to bring our knees back underneath our little hips, and we're going to, even as that's falling out there, we're going to stay on high knees and we're going to come into a gentle camel position. So we're working the back of the pelvis, okay, the sacrum. We're pressing the pelvis forward this time, and we're having a gentle back bend. We're also really focusing into the heart here. We're opening up through the heart space, okay? So we're just going to bring our hands and place them on the small of the back. All right. Tops of the feet are connected. Knees are hip width, and the thighs are going to act quite strong for us here as a strong base, okay? So draw the thighs towards each other and try not to clench too much through your glutes, but definitely activate them so that they're nice and strong. And let the pelvis move forward as you draw the shoulders back and down, open the chest and gaze up. Okay, so it's a little back bend. Now there's a variation where we can go towards our feet and press our hands onto our heels, but I think we'll just keep it nice and gentle here with our hands just on the pelvis. Okay, lift up. Nice straight pelvis. And then we're going to lift one leg up, press into the earth, lift the other leg up. Moving into a standing position, okay? So there's not many standing postures in our little sequence tonight. I'm going to do it now. So when we're focusing on the sacral chakra, okay, there's a colour associated with it, which is orange, okay? And we've mentioned that over the past few weeks. But there's also an element, which is water. So we're going to get flowing a little bit, trying to kind of link into that little ebb and flow of water, okay? So we're doing this with a little moving warrior, but just nice and gentle, okay? So you're going to keep your left foot forward and you're going to step back with your right, okay? And you're going to bend into that knee at the front, okay? And you're going to bring your hands, we're going to use our hands here in a different way than we usually would with warrior. And we're going to bring our hands and have both palms facing away and the tops of the hands facing into the heart, okay? And we're going to just work with the breath and the movement, okay? So as we inhale, we're going to bring our hands back towards our heart and straighten the front leg. As we exhale, we're going to bend into the knee and send the hands away, okay? Inhale, exhale. Okay, so when we're doing this, so keep going with your own breath. Sometimes it's quite nice to even breathe out through the mouth, like a nice big sigh, like but we want to feel it flowing. Lovely flowing practice. Okay, I think that'll do us on that side and we'll go to the other. And I forgot one of the most important things I was going to say to you with that, but it's okay, we've got the other side. Is see when you're moving away from the heart like that, and that strong exhale, use it to free anything that you just is niggling around you. It could even be a little conversation you've had that's hanging over you and you just, it's not serving you well. A comment someone's made, something, anything really. Push it away, okay? Release it away, okay? Inhale in towards the heart, exhale. Okay, we're going to step forward, back up to the top of the mat, okay? So now we're going to, what have I got time for? Yeah, we're going to do a high lunge, okay? and then we're going to turn it into a wide leg forward fold, and then high lunge on the other side, okay? And I want to do a forward fold as well, okay? So we're going to start with that forward fold, okay? So our feet are at hip width apart. We're going to gently hinge forward from the top of the thigh. We're going to try and keep the back nice and open and straight. We're going to keep the shoulders nice and rotated back, and then we're going to fold down and start to release the hands and gaze between our legs. Softness in the knees, not harsh on our knees. Head hanging down. Then we are going to take a step back with the right foot, okay, into this high lunge, okay? So soften and bend and bounce into the knees so you're nice and soft, and take your right foot back, hands either side of the foot, and we're not dropping down with the knee at the back, unless, of course, if you're feeling tired and your energy levels are not supporting this, drop down with the back knee, okay? Then you're going to turn this left foot, okay, it's pointing forward, turn it by 90 degrees. Start to move your body, turn the back foot ever so by 90 degrees as well. We make our way to a wide-legged standing forward fold. Okay, so the legs are nice and wide, hands are reaching towards the floor, towards that line that the feet are making. Begin to lift up, and then we're going to do that, just not all the way, you don't need to come all the way, you need to stay close to the floor. Turn the right foot so that it points to, we'll be going towards the other end of our mat now, and turn the back toes so they're nice and tucked under. High lunge on this side. Okay, I want you to drop the back knee now. I want you to bring the right foot back to meet the other knee. Then I want you to widen out with the knees. Bring the big toes together. Extend yourself back into child's pose. Melt your heart down. Bring your forehead towards the mat. And hands out in front. A few breaths, about 5 big deep breaths. Okay, so we're moving on to our tummies now. So I'm going to give variations for ladies, like I can't remember the name of the lady who said at the start, I think it was Lucy, about being post-transfer. Although I don't think it will do you any harm, I think psychologically lying and prone in your tummy and increasing blood flow there, I think we'll just leave that for you, okay? So you can either, so I want you to adapt. If you are in the 2-week wait at all, I think you should come into child's pose, have like several breaths there. If you feel an urge to move, come back up to all fours and do cat cuddles that we did at the start, okay? So either of those lovely restorative postures, okay? Everybody else, we're going to come and lie down on our fronts. So I think I'll just talk you through it because my microphone will end up pressing and I'm worried that it'll turn off, okay? So I want you to come down and extend your whole body flat onto the floor, okay? I want you to fold your arms, on top of each other. I want you to rest your forehead there. And I want you to just release the hips a little because we've worked really hard into them. So we're coming to crocodile with wide legs, okay? So bring your feet to about your mat's width And just even have a little rock side to side. I want you to feel the earth receiving the whole front of your body. Okay, so you're on your tummy with your arms folded, and just adjust and release, because it's a big change in perspective. And then I want you to also take the arms and extend them way out in front. So right out in front. So your head's in between your arms, your forehead's on the floor now. Few breaths like that. And then I want you to have the hands still reaching away out in front, but those wide legs, just walk them back in so that the feet are extending down directly from the hips, okay? Then we're going to come into a really gentle locust pose, okay? So we're going to really start to put a little bit of pressure onto the lower belly, just to give a nice little massage, okay? So you want to lift the hands, arms, head, rise them up off the mat, and you're kind of hovering, and you lift the feet and legs too. Okay, so you're kind of hovering, but you'll feel a pressure onto the belly in a gentle way. So just maybe 2 big deep breaths more. And then gently allow your body to meet the floor. And then with the hands, bring them back, bend at the elbow, and bring the thumbs so that they're about your eye, where your eyes are, and the elbows will probably be big splayed out. Then bring the elbows, so push into the hands and rise up. We're coming to Sphinx, and tuck the elbows into the side of the body. Okay, so we should be feeling the pelvis, the belly on the mat. Our chest is relaxed and open, and we're just having a gentle stretch and massage into the lower belly. And then lift up and over into child's pose. Okay, so that can be quite intense for some people, those quite deep back bends into the lower back. So child's pose is nice to release that. Okay, a few breaths in child's pose. And now I would like you to make your way onto your back, okay? So we're coming onto our backs with the knees bent and the feet flat on the floor. Constructive rest position. Okay. Bring your hands onto your belly. Bring your index fingers to meet, your thumbs to meet. So if you were to press your index finger, it would press onto the top of your pubic bone, and your thumbs are below the belly button, like a downward pointing triangle. The feet aren't too far tucked in. They're nice and loose through the hips. Then I want you to walk your feet towards each other so that they meet the knees and thighs as well. All closed up. Then open up. Let the knees fall sideways so that they reach towards the floor. Let the soles of the feet touch. The hands can stay as they are. Let the back just meet the earth wherever it touches. And then slowly close up again into constructive rest. So walk the feet out to that gentle hip width. And then with a really gentle, slow movement, make your way from constructive rest to Shavasana. So if you're really warm enough where you as you are, just simply extend the legs away, extend the heels away from the body. But I know most of my clients like to then have a few moments just to get sorted, to get warmer, to grab a blanket, to pop a pair of socks on. So I'm going to give you that time to do that. And we are ready for our Shavasana. Okay, so we're doing a Sacral Chakra meditation, okay, and it is called Meeting Your Inner Child. And it's a lovely meditation, so just trust me. It can seem a bit strange, but it's lovely. Okay, if I can find it. There we go. Okay, so we want to, before we begin this visualization, we want to get ourselves deeply and comfortably relaxed. So I want you to extend your heels away. I want you to have the backs of your hands on the floor, not zipped up to the side of the body, a little bit away from the body. I want you to invite a sense of heaviness all the way down the back of the body, beginning where the head meets the earth and moving down the body, down the neck and shoulders just inching away. Down the length of the spine. Feel the natural curves of the spine where they meet the earth. The backs of the legs, all the way to the heels. Let your feet gently flop out to the sides to release the hips. Take the attention to the breath and allow the belly to slowly rise and fall with each breath. Do not try and alter the breath in any way. Just witness the in and the out of the breath. The slow coming and going. The evenness. The quiet rhythm. And allow the body to just be. And you feel as if you're melting down onto the floor. Every cell of your body beginning to soften and relax. You feel really safe and really secure. whole body releasing. Make sure you're not harboring tension through the face and the jaw. Swallow and release the inner walls of the throat. Allow the jaw to slacken and soften. Allow the eyes to close gently, not forcefully. Allow the temples to release. I want you to visualize a tiny pinprick of orange light deep in the lower belly. A beautiful, vivid orange colour, the colour of the fruit, the colour of sunsets, the colour of African marigold flowers, the colour of stamens laden with pollen in the height of summer. And as you visualize this colour and you breathe into the belly, visualize this tiny pinprick of light getting bigger and bigger and bigger, like a wheel whirring round, vibrating. This beautiful mist of orange is moving even further away from the belly and is emanating throughout the whole body. And this light allows you to release, soften, and relax even more. And now I want you to take yourself back to the place you lived as a child. Stand outside and notice the colour and shape of the front door. You're setting up this visualization so that the journey is extremely safe. Your inner child will recognize you, feel the connection, and know that you are a safe person who has come to help. As you go up to the front door, your inner child opens it. They are pleased to see you. That connection is there. They take you by the hand and you walk into the house. You recognize the colours and shapes. Your inner child takes you to the bedroom and shows you their toys and books. You recognize them. Sit down and play with them together. After a while, your inner child starts to feel sleepy and comes to you. You're also relaxed and quite tired, and your inner child knows that you will listen to anything they have to say. Let your inner child tell you all their worries or concerns. You might hear the words, or they might whisper them silently in your ear. Your inner child has been in that house on their own for a long time. Tell them that you understand how hard it has been. Say that if they like, they can come and live with you in your heart. The two of you would be stronger and happier together. And if your inner child agrees, and this may not happen, feel the boundary between the two of you dissolve until you are the same person. Imagine filling the room and then the house with light. As you walk out of the door, you see another doorway that leads you back into your current life. Walk through it back into your body. Begin to feel fully present back in your own body. Feel the heaviness of your body as it rests on the floor. Your awareness into all the points of your body that are touching the floor. And rest and take all the relaxation you need here. Take your awareness into that orange mist. And just know that before you begin to move out of relaxation, whenever that is for you, to make sure that you draw that orange colour back into the lower belly slowly, 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 until it becomes that little pinprick of orange light again. So don't rouse out of relaxation until you've done that to yourself, okay? So I am bowing to you now, saying Om Shanti, Shanti. And I'm sending you peace and love for your week ahead. And I really hope to see as many of you as possible next week for our last week in our 6-week block. Okay,